But we go from that to another segment. Cole hypes up that he did a sit-down interview with Arn Anderson and I think Michael Hayes. But I think that comes a little later. We actually get now that Triple H comes to the ring, and this is the whole confrontation he had with Booker T that I kind of referenced in the opening segment. He pretty much says that, everything that he's been saying, 20 years, all
literally,
this stuff.
he just says, I'm going to beat Sting. Booker T, let me know what you think. Oh, you don't think that I can beat Sting? You're fired. Ha ha ha, JK, buddy, it was just a prank. Look, there's a camera over there. Go back to your seat. That is his promo. 15 minutes in 30 seconds.
Yeah, you want to move on? Because that was actually a really great summation. I really, what else can you really add to that?
That's everything. He said he's going to beat Sting. He asked Booker T what he thought. Booker T said that he thought that Triple H tried to block Sting from getting into the WWE after the acquisition of WCW by using politics and talking him out of it, basically. And Triple H fake fired Booker T. Booker T got all sad and walked out. And then Triple H said, haha, JK, I'm just trying to prove an example that I have control over everyone and that I'm powerful. You're not really fired. Get back to your seat, you scamp. And then he rustled his kick.
So, yeah, I guess moving on, because there ain't no way I'm going to top that review. We get our Divas title match, Paige versus Nikki Bella. A good back and forth.
I enjoyed this. I wish they wouldn't have cut the commercial in the middle of it, but for what it's worth, you could actually watch the match on the app during the commercial. So this was a solid match. I appreciate that they actually gave them more than 5 minutes this week, even if 3 or 4 of those minutes were commercial. Again, you could still see the match via the app if you have it. I love, though, that they had the DQ finish, because even without the big return that we got, I appreciate the DQ finish because it leaves an open end, and it hopefully leads to the Divas Championship being defended at WrestleMania.
And dude, for me too, at least it wasn't the roll-up of death again. We already fulfilled that quota. So, I
feel like Paige is the only one that doesn't ever really use that.
Yeah. So
she might get beaten by it sometimes, but she never uses it seems like.
Exactly. So even though Paige, wins by DQ, obviously Nikki's still the champion. They continue to put the boots to Paige, but then AJ Lee's music hits, and she runs down to a big pop, and her and Paige pretty much clean house, dispose of both the Bellas, and they stand tall. Now, Ashton, here's the thing to your point about hoping that the Divas title be defended at WrestleMania. I've heard rumors that it's going to be a tag team match, the Bellas versus Paige and AJ Lee.
And you know what? I would so much prefer a fatal 4-way.
Yeah, definitely.
But if they get time, it's excusable.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that on all counts, actually.
If they get 10-plus minutes at Mania. Because, when this match was over, I straight up said, can we please get a fatal 4-way at WrestleMania that gets 15 minutes to prove that the NXT ladies aren't the only ones that can work a great match?
Yeah. I completely agree with you.
It's almost definitely not going to happen, but if we get a tag team match that goes for over 10 minutes, I guess I would be happy with that.
Right, absolutely.
But it's WrestleMania, so they're going to line up a tag team match, and then they're going to cut it from the card, because obviously Hulk Hogan needs 10 more minutes for one of his promos.
At the Silver Dome.
Brother!
But, yeah, we go from that. AJ Lee then cuts a promo, backstage. Paige, quickly confronts her.
Dude, AJ Lee is so meta, it hurts.
I know, right?
Did you hear some of the references?
I only heard the Give Divas a Chance reference. Did she make any other ones?
She opened up with a reference, I feel like. I completely forget what it was, but she opened up with a reference to something really super meta.
Interesting.
I wish I could remember what it was, but it was the first one was the one that caught me off guard, and then she said something about Give Divas a Chance, and I was like, oh, well, there's that too.
Right.
But there was something else that she opened up with, and I was like, oh my god, AJ is dropping bombs tonight.
Yeah, I love it. To me, I was telling somebody while this segment was happening, I really feel like even though the hiatus was because of injury, I feel like it was kind of refreshing because I personally was starting to tire of AJ a little bit, and now I feel like I could get back into her very strongly again. So it's great to see her back and in this kind of form. She tells Paige, hey, look, we've been friends, enemies, frenemies, but I've been seeing, the Bellas bully the division, and she figured, I would come back and help give Divas a chance, and that was that reference there.
Yeah, I love, though, that they're acknowledging that they were enemies, frenemies, whatever you want to call it at one point. And then AJ pulled out the enemy of my enemy is my friend line. I love that so much.
And then Paige just looks unconfused, and she's like, I guess that's good news, Renee. I think. So that was good stuff. We go from that to our daily show with Seth Rollins segment. And yet again, this is another segment I enjoyed. I'm always a little wary.
This was a great segment, dude.
Yeah, completely agree. Rollins is just pretty much running down New Jersey and Jon Stewart. I love how it seems like at first he's going to go for the cheap pop of Newark, and then he's like, wait a minute. Newark is the armpit of America. And the best part, with every joke that Rollins did, he inserted his own laugh. And that Rollins laugh is becoming infectious.
That Rollins cackle, though.
I can't even do it. It's just so distinct. Yeah, see, there you go. And every joke he made, like J&J Security would be laughing. He's like, come on, guys, stop it. Like, he was so in love with him.
He was totally pulling a Joey. Cut it out.
Oh, my God, I get that reference. But, so he's having fun at Jon Stewart's expense. Finally, though, Jon Stewart does come out. And here's the crazy thing, guys. When Jon Stewart got serious, and he was really talking to Seth Rollins. What was that, Ashton?
I said he was so good.
I know, right? Like if I had one tiny complaint that is really just meant to be a compliment, I wish they would have let him talk more and really finished his thought.
Yeah.
I wish that Seth Rollins wouldn't have cut him off, because he really seemed like he was on the cusp of really making a great point, like, oh, damn kind of thing. And I really have to give Stewart credit. When he tried the humor, it was kind of hit and miss. But no, when he looked directly at Rollins and said, you're not like the greats. And yeah, he did a lot of name dropping. But you know what? I think it's excusable for a guy like Stewart to do it, because it shows that he's a fan of the product. I think he's an outsider, so I think name dropping actually works to his benefit.
Yeah.
And then he talks about how even the briefcase he didn't earn. And I love how he paints the picture, because he says, look, I was there that night. I saw the show, and he started to say that if it wasn't for Kane, and then, of course, Rollins cuts him off at the pass, but I love and even before that, when he said, the Authority doesn't care about you. Let me ask you, Seth, are you in the main event? Who's in the title match? I'll tell you who. It's Lesnar and Reigns. If they care, you're the better wrestler, right? So why aren't you in that spot? Stewart was so on point here, and I really didn't think I'd say that going into this review.
This was a little bit of a kayfabe breaking promo from Jon Stewart, though. He even said, like, well, you're better in the ring. You're better on the mic. Like, wow, he's going there.
Yeah, he really is, and you could see, like, Rollins sold it well facially, just thinking, who is Jon Stewart to tell me this? And he really does, get that way. He gets hot, and he grabs Stewart, and it seems like he's going to hurt him. Then Orton's music hits, and he's trying to defuse the situation, and when Rollins is looking back, Stewart takes the opening to kick Rollins in the groin, and then when he's bent over, he gets like a shot or two in, and then he gets out of the ring and gets out of Dodge. I personally can't wait for the Daily Show segment of him recapping his experience at Raw, because that'll probably make it even better. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this.
Yeah. And by the way, a little bit late as far as being actually on topic for what we're talking about, but Damian Sandow with the tweet of the night. For those of you wondering if I'm okay, the slap was not hard.
All right. Well,
After a Viagra knockoff commercial.
I know, just so perfect, just like he is. But yeah, Stewart escapes. Orton heads to the back, and he's just like, well, I guess I tried. And, Renee Young afterwards, she's backstage with Jon Stewart. You can tell Jon Stewart's clearly on edge. It's like, wrestlers, they come through this back area, and, you can tell, like, he's really concerned. Like, he just wants to get out of there. Renee asks, is a career for you in WWE possible? You might come back in as a superstar or a commentator. And he says, well, yeah, I'd consider it, but the thing is, I got winded just talking out there, so I would definitely have to train. But you know what? I'm gonna go, because this seems like a very unsecure area, and then I just need to go. So yeah, I really loved how he was just so cagey and all that stuff. I think Stewart had a lot of fun here. I hope he did anyway, because I did, and I think that's a big compliment, because I'm not big on the whole celebrity segments. I know a lot of people are cringing because next week Wiz Khalifa is hosting Raw. So at least this was something to kind of, cleanse the palate a little bit, if you will. This was nicely done.
We couldn't just have Wiz Khalifa perform at WrestleMania like everyone knows they want to do anyway.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
Now we have to put up with him on a mic that isn't some kind of rapping.
I know, man. I don't even know.
I just hope he's a fan. That's all I care about. Like, when they bring in celebrities that are fans of the product, they do well. When they bring in celebrities that haven't watched since it was cool when The Rock was on and Stone Cold Steve Austin, guess what? They blow it.
They do. They really do every time. But what didn't blow was this next contest. Luke Harper came out with the Intercontinental Championship, and he's facing Daniel Bryan. So it's Bryan versus Harper, and I enjoyed this matchup because Harper was kind of working over the neck, and commentary was really playing up like, oh, look at the power of Harper. He's really, powering Bryan down and working over that neck, and Bryan better be careful. But ultimately, Harper does fall to the yes lock, and so Bryan gets a submission win. So he's standing on the announce table. He's pointing at the WrestleMania banner, doing all that good stuff, gets a yes chant going. Then Bad News Barrett comes out and he grabs his belt from the ring. But then Dean Ambrose cuts him off at the pass. They fight and Ambrose gets the better of the exchange. R-Truth appears and then, he gets the belt back, but not before Harper hitting Ambrose with a boot to the face.
Right.
So then R-Truth feels like he's going to make the escape, and then Harper cuts him off at the pass again. Truth gives him the belt back again, but Harper's like, you know what? First time I let it go. Second time I just got to give you a reminder. So he clotheslines Truth. He's proud of himself, so he's walking up the stage like, oh, it's almost like it's the hardcore title 2.0. It really does with all these changes going on. And then Harper looks to the crowd, and then when he turns around, he eats a beautiful super kick from Ziggler, who takes the belt, slumps it over his shoulder, and climbs the ladder. So he's on top of the ladder, and he's making eye contact with Bryan, who's still on the announce table leading a yes chant of his own. And JBL's just freaking out because he's like, they're all felons, Mogul! They're all felons! They should be arrested! And, I'm just really enjoying what's happening here with the IC title picture.
We had 8 Intercontinental Championship changes on Raw tonight.
Insanity, man.
What an amazing episode.
I know.
An amazing episode. I personally preferred the R-Truth Luke Harper match the best.
Yeah, definitely. That was such a great content.
The physicality.
The storytelling.
I know. Such charisma from both performers.
So on point.
I don't know. Ziggler Harper was pretty great too. But we've seen that match so many times.
I know, and it's pretty much ended the exact way that this one did. I mean, super kick right to the mush victory right there. So, yeah. For now,
Dolph Ziggler, your Intercontinental Champion coming out of the show. I wonder how many times the title's going to change hands at SmackDown.
Yeah, that's a good question. And my thing is, even though I do really feel like we have our ladder match, Truth, Barrett, Ambrose, Ziggler, Bryan, and Harper, are there going to be maybe 2 more people for 8 altogether? I don't know. Maybe this is the end of it. Maybe it isn't. Only time will tell. But regardless, this ladder match is going to be insanity.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, how crazy would it be though if coming out of WrestleMania we had John Cena, United States Champion, and Daniel Bryan, Intercontinental Champion? Talk about bringing prestige back to the mid-card titles. Mid-card titles, they would be the new main event titles.
Yeah, because
the WWE Championship would be like the God title. To be wrestled for between Brock Lesnar, Triple H, Undertaker, and Sting only.
I know, right? Crazy. Speaking of crazy, though, I mean, we get the announcement that Alundra Blaze will be the latest inductee into the Hall of Fame.
I don't think it's that crazy.
Well, we're getting to the crazy segment, but I had these 2 roadblocks first, because then we see Seth Rollins backstage with the J&J security. When Randy Orton walks in, he says, Seth, you should be thanking me for what I did out there. Did you really think you were going to be able to beat up Jon Stewart and not suffer any repercussions? You could have lost your job. So how about a thank you? And Rollins kind of looks at him like, dude, what are you even doing to me right now? But then, Big Show and Kane show up, and they say, Seth, we've got your back tonight with your match against Roman Reigns. After Orton's like, hey, but listen, I've still got the offer out there. I will help you with Roman Reigns. All you have to do is ask. But then Kane and Big Show cut him off at the pass there. And then I love Jamie Noble because he finds his voice and he pipes up and he's like, well, I guess then not everybody needs to be out there. Ugh! And then they all leave. Way to prove your point there, Noble. But, yeah.